Hey everyone, we are live. Wonderful. Welcome to a presentation about weird neurological symptoms that nobody's talking about. Okay. I've had some weird stuff and I've gotten treated for that. So, first, I'm going to talk a little bit about these symptoms, the issues that sometimes people have. And then we're going to show video with people. This is some just bizarre, ultra weird symptoms and the same treatment that I went through and how they recovered. So, if you know of anybody, if you or anybody you know, friends, family, have any weird symptoms like that, send them this video. It's going to change your life. This treatment is the most amazing treatment ever created. It's the cutting edge technology. It's the best you can get that money can afford right now. Okay. It's fantastic. They combined cutting edge new technologies with old school hacks that have been done for decades. It's amazing. Okay. So let's jump into it. That'll be three parts of this little presentation. And if you have any questions, just type it in the chat and I'll do my best to answer that. But let's go ahead and get started. So weird neurological symptoms that no one talks about. So some symptoms are so strange or unpredictable, they don't fit into the neat medical boxes, but they are very real. So you go to a doctor and they always try to put you in a box or a category, be like, okay, well, this is what's wrong with you. Take these medications. This is wrong with you. Do this, whatever. So it just doesn't work that way because everybody's different. Because when you're dealing with the brain affects everyone differently. So one person is totally different from another person. And that's what is so important, which the doctors don't always realize, that the brain affects everything and weird things in the brain will create weird, bizarre symptoms in the body. Like, for example, sudden body jerks or twitches, electrical zaps in the head or limbs, feeling like your body isn't your own, moments of not recognizing familiar places, odd smells, tastes, phantom sensations. All these things, weird neurological symptoms. And doctors often shrug these off, but they're signs of a disrupted brain network. Okay. It's in the brain. There's nothing wrong with the hardware, usually, unless you've had a really bad knock or head injury and that kind of stuff. Yes. But as that heals, it's the brain patterns in the brain that don't always go back to normal. This is the example I like to use. Let's say my shoulder after a knock is up like this. If I go like this for a long time, let's say 1 year, 2 year, my brain now thinks this is the normal position for the shoulder. But is it? No. So I have to retrain the brain and be like, this is normal, not this. But the longer you walk around like that, the more normal the brain's going to think this position is. So the same thing with the brain. If you have weird neurological symptoms and you stay like that for a long time and the patterns don't go back to normal, then they think that's normal. And when it stays normal, how in the world is it going to be able to go back to normal? Because if it thinks that is normal, it thinks it's doing what it's supposed to do, and it wants to heal. It wants to go back to normal, but it just doesn't know how to do it. So what are you going to do, right? And that's what we have to retrain the brain to be able to do that. And there's some methods now that are really amazing. This is not neurofeedback. This is way more advanced than neurofeedback. When the brain when it feels glitched, some people describe it like this: my brain freezes randomly like a computer. It feels like my nervous system is stuck in a loop. My thoughts echo or stutter. I feel disconnected from reality or my own body. It feels like my brain tries to reboot and fails. Okay. So these are not physiological, they're neurological processing issues caused by faulty signaling in the brain. Okay. So you just go into a psychiatrist, whatever, is not going to help with this. They're neural pathways, brain waves, different things going on in the brain circuits that are misfiring, and just need to get it rewired. And it is doable. It is totally doable to do that now. You're not crazy. Your brain needs rewiring. If no one has believed your symptoms, you are not alone. There's a lot of us out there who've gone to a doctor and a doctor says we're crazy. Like, for real, there's a lot of us. So what you're feeling may sound bizarre, but it's common in people with brain injuries. FND is functional neurological disorder, which is usually the label that they give to people with weird neurological symptoms because they don't know what else to call it, or post-concussion syndrome. So these are real glitches in the brain's communication system, and they can be improved by targeted brain rewiring therapies, which I'm going to go into now, how to use precision to target specific areas of the brain affected and how you can restore that function. And then the symptoms then usually go away. Okay, so let's move on. I'm going to show a video now of some people that have had some weird symptoms. You can check it out. This is JK at age 16. I'll just play it and I'll talk a little bit over it. So she was in a car accident, very serious car accident, but you see the symptoms that she has with her brain or with her eyes, and she was told nothing could be done to help her. See, the eyes cannot look straight. So after 6 weeks only of intensive treatment plan at IFN, she resumed back to normal life. It's amazing. This is Madison. She's 4 years old, really severe epilepsy, 100 seizures a day. It's just, but then after 1 week, okay, 1 week of treatment, she's down 90, the seizure rate dropped by 90%. Just amazing. And then this is RH. He went to the doctor. The doctor said he was just trying to get attention. And that's what, it's just awful. These people who have these weird, bizarre symptoms and ultimately unable to walk without assistance. So repeatedly, his parents were told he was just attention seeking. I mean, it's just unbelievable. So after 6 months of care, he's walking by himself. Look at that. After 9 months of care, he's now jogging back to normal teenage life. Isn't that amazing? It's just amazing. This is Sam at age 18, has severe neck injury while at the beach. He was left in paraplegic, very, very serious. And they restore the function of the neck. They have 1% chance of any movement, but they restore the function of the neck and then they rewire the brain. And now you'll see in the end of the video. Check this out. So now he's dancing his way to recovery, standing by himself, and eventually he is walking and he's getting better and better, constantly improving. It's just amazing. Really, really amazing. Now he's walking unaided. Look at that. This is Ben at age 12. Story of so many kids these days that get labeled as ADHD, autism, dyslexia, all these different things. But IFN identified as sensory confusion with the eyes. That's why he's not able to focus. It's not ADHD. Yeah, that's just what doctors say when they have no idea what they're talking about. So after 12 weeks of treatment, he can read, write, and worse long suffers from anxiety, back to living a normal life. And there's so many of these. And you can go to my website. I have more stories there of people who have had some weird neurological symptoms but have gotten their lives back, including me. I'll share more about myself. Now, I'm not a doctor. Information shared in this presentation is based on my personal experience. Okay, so you got to talk to a doctor about this. The video that I showed is from the Institute of Functional Neuroscience, Dr. Randy Beck. Okay, he is amazing. He's the best in the world at creating custom treatment plans for people with weird neurological symptoms. And you can do home treatment, okay, over video call. I'm telling you, it is the most amazing thing ever. Use promo code Bjorn, get a discount on your first treatment. I'm telling you, the stuff that he's able to do where he combines cutting edge technologies with the old school hacks that have been used for decades is just amazing. So this is where I was treated from this video that I showed you. This is my situation. I was a mess. I went everywhere, spent $250,000 traveling the world, trying to find the best doctors. And the symptoms I had were crazy. Light sensitivity, sound sensitivity, body was shaking, the brain had a neck issue, so the brain was stuck in panic mode. I can tell you it was not fun. Like full on panic mode 24/7. Usually if a tiger is chasing you, you're supposed to go in panic mode and run, but you're not supposed to be like that for 24/7, okay? Just a few seconds while the danger goes away. So this is the state I was in, pretty awful, and it was brutal. Nobody should have to go through something like this. So I know what it's like. So anyone with symptoms of any that are listed here, I'm telling you, it's a software issue, okay? Software issue, not a hardware issue, and it can be restored, it can be rewired. It is possible. Be encouraged, okay? I'm gonna show you how to do this. Another thing with me, my stomach was so bloated. I was like, oh, I couldn't eat anything. I felt stuffed all the time. That was just brutal. And what we now know, and I went to the doctor and they gave me antacids, but antacids you see with the stomach, but the root issue was the neck. Because when the neck is pressing on, when the neck is off, like C1 Atlas was for me, it's pressing on the vagus nerve, which is one of the cranial nerves, and it can create a lot of weird neurological symptoms, and which it did with me. So you got to get to the root issue, which was the neck, and then the brain had then been rewired to be incorrect, basically interpreting the signals incorrect, creating these issues in the stomach. So if you don't work with a doctor who knows what they're doing, then you're just going to be on antacids for the rest of your life. And it's not going to help the root issue. It's going to get worse and worse. So all I'm saying with this example is that the doctors, they just don't always know how to deal with this because they don't understand how the brain works, and they don't understand how the neck works. They just take whatever body part, give you medication, drug you up, and then like, all right, off you go. Lyme disease is a bacterial infection I had in the brain as well, had to be dealt with. And you can read more up on that, but it made it very, very complicated, which is why my symptoms were so crazy. So I tried traditional neurofeedback, lens, TMS, bioresonance. I mean, I tried. Uh, if you see something that you're looking into that's not on this list, let me know, okay? I'm sure I've done it. I just didn't want to list it because I forget sometimes all the crazy stuff I've done. They heated my body to 42.6 degrees, okay? Twice. Yeah, I've done some crazy stuff, man. So this is what I look like now. As you can see, no more glasses. I can go outside. Not 100% yet, but I'm getting better every day. So this is some of the techniques, the old school brain hacks that were taught at Carrick Institute. And Dr. Beck learned these here. He worked there 10 years. So for example, on this one, they have his left arm is not working after a mild concussion. So he lifts his right arm while he watches the right arm being lifted in the mirror, which is then hacking the brain. The brain thinks he's now lifting his left arm, but he wasn't able to lift his left arm. But when the brain sees that his left arm is being lifted, then those neural pathways are recreated again, restored. And then he's like, oh, I can lift my left arm. And then he's able to lift his left arm. It sounds crazy, totally bizarre, I know, but it works. It's hacking the brain. So these old school hacks is what Dr. Beck takes and combines it with some of the cutting edge stuff that is out there. Dr. Kerr, they don't take patients anymore. And Dr. Beck worked there, but then he got into QEG, he got into TDCS, which I'm going to describe. He's the first one to get into this to deal with people with weird neurological symptoms and then tailor treatment plans for them. So look at this. This is a brain map, and you can see right here, you can see the different colors. So you do a brain scan. This can't be done at home. You got to go to a clinic to do it, but then the treatment will be done at home. But you'll find a neurofeedback center in your town, or IFM will do that, and they'll send you there. You do a scan, it takes 30 minutes, and you come home. This scan results Dr. Beck is the best in the world of reading because he's done this the longest, and they'll look at different colors. So you want to have green, but some, as you see, are red, some are blue. They're different colors. So the reason, like for example, blue is too slow, red is too fast. And then they look at the way the brain is communicating. So this might be too fast. This might be too slow. This might be too loud. Like the whole brain might be screaming at each other, trying to get attention. And you need to normalize that, stabilize that. And that is what Dr. Beck does with the treatments that he then puts together for you. Neurofeedback works, but the TDCS nudges the brain a lot faster. So neurofeedback works for those who are in the normal range, but it doesn't work for those with really severe issues like I had. So that's why, anyways. But that's what the basis of everything. This treatment is the scan that you use for the that you get with QEG brain map. So yeah, this is just Dr. Beck again. You see him up right there. And I think I have a slide. Okay, so neuroplasticity is the brain's incredible ability to reorganize itself by forming new neural connections as it changes in response to stimuli. Its ability to adapt to the environment. So the brain is plastic, which is called neuroplasticity. So you can bend it, you can rewire it. It's not hardwired. Oh, that is so good, because if it was hardwired, you'd be stuck like that forever. But it's plastic. So you got to that state, and now you're going to change it. So Dr. Beck combines TDCS with multiple other therapies. So let me tell you what TDCS is, okay? TDCS is a transcranial direct current stimulation and is an emerging neuromodulation technique that provides safe, low-cost, non-invasive means of modulating the brain. So you see right here, this is just a little set you put on right here. It's got battery. You put on a pad there, put on a pad there. You buy this online. You get it sent to you. Dr. Beck will oversee it. It's amazing. It's the most brilliant thing you can ever do. And it's not dangerous. It's used by tons of people all over the world. Just most people don't know how to use it properly. Here is how the military uses it, how DARPA hacked a science writer's brain and turned it into sharpshooter. I'm just showing this to show you that this is not something that Dr. Beck created. Like, this has been around for decades, but he's the best at treating people with illnesses. So with a device on her head delivering electrical currents, AD went from a frustrated shooter to a skilled sniper. Okay? That's what, because they're stimulating those areas that help focus. They use this for drone operators. This is just how the military trains their soldiers, to become as good as they are. So this is what the machine looks like up close. And yeah, it's a very small amount of electricity and doesn't hurt. You don't feel anything. And sometimes the pad will tingle a little bit if it doesn't have enough water on it. But yeah, it's just tiny amounts of electricity for 10 minutes. You do 18 sessions of that, and then you do another brain scan to see the results. Okay. And then you do other 18 sessions to keep seeing the changes in the brain. You see the colors changing on the brain map, and it's amazing. You're like, oh, you feel better. You're like, oh man. And you see the changes as well. And you're like, oh my goodness, this is doable. I'm getting better. And it's just very, very encouraging because you can see, get a visual of what is going on with your brain, and you get this, you feel better. So you get to see the trend change in the brain. It's just the greatest thing ever. They can also use DC on the spine, so restore the function of the spine. If you had a neck injury, they can do that as well, and then they can restore the function of the brain, like they did with Sam in the video I showed earlier, who was paraplegic. They changed that as well. So this is somebody with ADHD. These markers are very clear. Somebody who knows what they're doing will be able to look at this brain map and be like, okay, yep, this is a high beta. Um, and you see all the blue right here. So they're very specific markers. So it's easy to know if people have ADHD because they look at the brain map and they're okay, yeah, it's pretty obvious. This person has that. So that's how they look at it, and then they change that. They tweak it. So they go at an example of people with hundreds of thousands of people who've done brain scans and that do not have ADHD. And then they look at your brain scans and they tweak your brain. They'll tweak your brain to be more like those who do not have ADHD. Okay, and that's how it works. And then you watch to see what happens with symptoms. It's really, really simple. But on the other side, it's so complicated because only a few people in the world know how to do it. And Dr. Beck is considered the best. Like all the toughest cases, they all go to him. He's known as like the best because he's done this the longest, and his treatments are just they're solid because he has the most experience. So if you can go to a doctor to deal with the brain, you want to go to the best, right? And Dr. Beck is the best, and that you can do home treatment over video. I mean, it doesn't get better than that. I spent so much money. Do you know how much money it costs to live in a hotel for 3 months in California? It's crazy expensive. And then we were in Canada, Germany, all over the place, Colorado. It's so expensive. And now you can be treated at home. And that is just, it's the greatest thing ever. Okay. Just the greatest thing ever. So use my promo code. You get a discount. It helps me out promoting this as well. And trying to see, yeah, on my website. Let me pull up my website and then you can see what I have here. So this is my website. And if you go on it, you can see that we have case studies right here, lots of articles about it for a lot of different issues that people have, weird neurological symptoms. And then you got an FAQ here that try to explain everything as good as possible, um, you know, because people have a lot of questions. And then you can contact me here uh, on these different things live on YouTube every day. Try to make it as easy as possible. Send me an email, send me a message, and then we'll go from there. But here's all the information, and then you contact IFN. They set up a call. You do a scan. We have a call with Dr. Beck. That's from him right there. And then he goes over the brain map and explains, okay, this is what I see going on in your brain. We're going to tweak it like this, and then we're going to see what happens to the symptoms. And usually within a short period of time, you'll start noticing some huge changes because the brain is not functioning the way it's supposed to. And they're balancing it out. Like, for example, prefrontal cortex, whatever area of the brain that's having issues, sometimes other areas are overcompensating for that, and that's why when you balance everything out, like symptoms go away and you normalize and you're experiencing the world the way you're supposed to experience it, the way everyone else experiences it. Because right now, if you got some weird neurological symptoms, you're like, you're like sound sensitivity, light sensitivity, like that's not normal. Okay. So once you realize that or experience that, it's like then you're like, oh, is that how you guys have always experienced the world? Because you forget what normal is because you've been in this like box, almost like a prison. And yeah. So, anyways, Dr. Beck, he's the best in the world at this, and there's no one who does it as well as him. And he combines multiple therapies. That's the cool thing. So it takes time. You do little by little because you can't make two big changes right away. You have to give it, do it over time. But once you've done that, the changes are permanent, like the permanent in the sense of like they're going to stay like that. You can always change it. And of course, you want to do some maintenance work and that kind of stuff. But it's not like it goes back when you stop the treatment because then the brain's been rewired back to normal. I wanted to do some Q&A. Let me see if I can find some questions. I thought I had one question come in that I want to answer. Okay, question coming in. How does brain health impact mental health conditions like depression and anxiety? So, brain health, well, so I guess the way I want to answer this is that depression and anxiety are symptoms, that neurological symptoms in the brain, where the weird stuff, like the brain is not functioning the way it's supposed to. So that's why people have depression, they have anxiety. Like the prefrontal cortex, there's low activity for depression. And because of that, people feel depressed. So all you do, you don't have to go talk about it and deal with whatever trauma. Like has nothing to do with that. Here they just go, they've used electricity, to use laser to restore the function of the brain, and then these symptoms go away. Now, of course, you don't want to sit and be depressed all day and thinking about like bad things or watching, because the brain sometimes will see things, and whatever the brain sees, whether you're visualizing something or seeing it on TV, the brain thinks it's real. So if you're watching depressing movies or reading depressing books all the time, the world's going to be kind of depressing. So for brain health, yeah, you don't want to do that, but this type of therapy is not like for you to change anything necessarily. It's primarily to get the brain functioning the way it's supposed to, get the neurons firing the way they're supposed to. And once you do that, then the symptoms go away and you won't feel depressed or have anxiety anymore. So this is not like one of those talk therapy or like, oh, I need to change this or that, or I need to do whatever. This is basically let the doctor do their thing to restore the function of the brain, and then symptoms go away. Suddenly you'll be like, wow, I feel great, not depressed anymore. Oh, I don't have anxiety anymore. And you'll just start feeling so much better. Like that's how I felt. I was beyond depressed. It was very serious because I was blindfolded, stuck in a dark room for many, many years, couldn't go outside. Brain was not processing light sound correctly. So, anyways, that's how I ended up in the state that I was in. I was pretty messed up, as you can see in some of these pictures. But met Dr. Beck. Finally, somebody who knows what he's talking about, and he is the best. So, and you can do it at home. If it wasn't for that, I don't know, what I would do. Yeah, it's been tough, and you might be in the same situation right now, and I know it's brutal. So that's the question I wanted to answer. If you have any other question, you can type it in the chat, send me a message, send me an email, and then we'll go from there. So that if you have weird neurological symptoms, if you know anybody with weird neurological symptoms, send them this video. They need to get treated. They need to get help. It is possible. I'm telling you, it is possible. If I can get to where I am, there's no like you can definitely get better too. Okay. Um, yeah. You can read more about Dr. Beck here. I have a little bit write up about his education um, and about IFN as well. So cool. Check it out. All right. Thank you guys for watching. Again, if you have any questions, let me know and we'll go from there. Take care. Bye bye.